One of the things that's so amazing about the vegan community is that we all come from so many different backgrounds and are heading on so many different paths, and yet we can all come together for this one cause. Hello guys and gals of the internet, Sword here, thanks for dropping by, and wow, there are a lot more of you here now, and I have a hunch it's because of that audition I did for Nikocado Avocado's 5 Awesome Vegans, and if you haven't seen that yet, you can see the link right there in the card, whichever side it is, I can't remember. Anywho, there are a lot more of you here, and so I've been on YouTube for somewhere between 2 and 3 years now, but I've never shared my vegan story in its entirety. So my 3-year anniversary is coming up, well, it's July 1st, but I got inspiration from Dill Melon, who is a fellow redhead vegan YouTuber. After seeing his video, and he was talking about he is working on making a video about his vegan story. And so I thought, why wait? 3 is such a weird number anyways. I should share it now, especially since there are a lot more vegans watching these videos. So without further ado, here's my story. So it all started about 4 or 5 years ago with my mom. Now, I'm not gonna go into details with her story, because that's her story and it's personal. But long story short, she was having some serious health issues going on, and she was trying to figure out what she could do about it. She went to a lot of different doctors who told her a lot of different things, and the end result was basically just a pill that would make things much worse overall. It would maybe fix the problem she was having currently, but then it would add a whole host of new problems, including one that was irreversible, and she said no way to that. So she decided that the regular medicine just wasn't for her, and so she started looking into holistic medicine and seeing what that was about, see if there was something she could get from that. And so she started going to like natural supplement stores, and she started talking to the people who run them, and I don't know who it was, how, but somehow she came across veganism and how there are so many people who have reversed as well as prevented so many different issues by following a vegan diet. And actually, she started out as a raw food vegan, completely raw, not cheating at all, because that's the kind of lady she is. And she did that for a good amount of time. I'm not sure how many months it was, but it was a fair amount of time. And she saw results. Like, it actually worked for her. It wasn't like in its entirety like completely gone, but it definitely reduced her symptoms to where it wasn't as big of a deal anymore. And that was just so amazing to see. So she kept with the vegan diet. She eventually started including more cooked foods into her diet, just because especially in the winter, even though we live in the South, it still gets cold enough to where you don't want to eat raw food all the time. You want to have that warm cooked food that's so good. And so that's what she started doing, but she kept with the vegan diet. And by this point, I was interested. I was like, what is veganism? What is this thing? I was a vegetarian at that point, because we lived in a semi-rural area, so it's very hard to have that cognitive dissonance of, you know, separating cow from beef. You can't do it when you see the cows in the field one day and then they're gone the next, and you know why they're gone. And so it was very easy for me to go vegetarian because I just saw it and I didn't want to be part of that. I never liked the idea, but especially once it really hit me of what meat involved, didn't want to be part of that. So at that point, I was vegetarian, but I was very interested in veganism. And so I talked to my mom a little bit about it, but I did a lot more just research on my own. And one evening, while I was doing some research, I came across PETA's video, If Slaughterhouses Had Glass Walls. Oh my gosh, you guys, that is an intense 10 minutes, however long it is, I'm pretty sure it's 10 minutes. because it shows all of the awful stuff in every single industry, from the meat industry to the dairy and the egg and the fish, including the awful bycatch that, you know, that comes from fishing. And so it showed all of that, all of the just horrendous stuff that happens, including stuff that is in no way necessary in order for people to get their food, including the abuse of animals as well as killing of young because they're not, you know, necessary or important. I don't know. But needless to say, by the end of that video, I was crying. I just couldn't believe all the stuff that was going on, because I guess I had this illusion, this fantasy in my head that, you know, dairy cows are fine. They're in the field and then they're milked and it's no big deal. You know, I had no idea, especially about the factory farms, because we don't really have factory farms in our area, or if we do, they're very well hidden. So I'd never been exposed to that before. I never heard of the fact that babies are taken away from their mothers. That was heartbreaking. And I knew that there was bycatch with the fishing industry, but for some reason, I thought the bycatch was sent back into the ocean and everything was okay, but it's not. It is not. And if you don't know about everything that goes on, I would definitely suggest, you know, whether you watch a documentary such as like Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives, what have you. There are a lot of documentaries out there on YouTube and Netflix, whatever you like. And then there's also, of course, PETA's videos, including If Slaughterhouses Had Glass Walls, which is not safe for work at all unless you know you want that shock factor with your coworker. Show them that. It's, oh man, it has been years since I've seen that video. I only saw it once, but those images still just haunt me. And anywho, moving on. Watch the video if you are considering veganism at all, curious. You need to see it. But moving on. So I saw that video and I said, I can't do this anymore. I cannot contribute to all of this violence and just injustice against these innocent animals. So I went vegan, and that was about 2.5 years ago. Yeah, it was 2.5 years ago, because it was towards the end of June, so I just count July 1st as when I went vegan because I can't remember the exact day. And so I've been vegan ever since. I have had some slip-ups, some accidental as far as like not knowing it wasn't vegan, and then there were some like temptations thrown my way that I did not react well to, but it's been a while since that has happened. It's been well over a year since something like that has happened. So I am a full vegan, as full as a vegan can be. And I've noticed that since becoming vegan, I have had a much easier time, you know, making friends and connecting with people, especially like here on the internet. After finding this community that is coming together around 5 awesome vegans and just all of these amazing small YouTubers, I have just found so many awesome channels. And then also in real life, especially after coming to college, because back home I was like one of maybe 2 vegans outside of my house in that whole city. So there wasn't a lot of vegan action going on there. But once I came to college, I found so many vegans. We have this whole group, Speak Out for Species, and though it's not a vegan group, it's an animal rights group, and they welcome and accept people of all diets and lifestyles, but majority of them are vegans, and honestly, they are some of my best friends here. They're just so down to earth and compassionate and witty and just fun to be around. And honestly, if it wasn't for that group, I feel like my whole college experience would be very, very different. So I'm just so glad that I became vegan when I did. Number one, because I am no longer contributing to all of the pain and suffering that animals are going through in the meat and dairy industry. And number two, the fact that I am not clogging up my arteries with meat and eggs and everything else and lard and what have you. But also number three, because I have found this amazing community that otherwise I never would have known about. And it all goes back to Mom. I always, I tell people that if it wasn't for my mom, I probably wouldn't be vegan today. And so I am just eternally grateful for just the influence that she's had in my life, especially with this, and just thankful that she made it to where my process of going vegan was a lot easier because I had that support within my household, because at that point the only one who wasn't vegan was my dad, and he would joke around a little bit, but he never gave us a seriously hard time about being vegans. And so it just made everything a lot easier and a much more positive experience with going vegan. And so I'm very thankful for my family and friends and just everyone that I have met and who has supported me through this journey. And it's my hope that I can help others who want to go vegan, whether that's friends or family, because I definitely have enough family who isn't vegan. But I just, I want to be there for them like others were there for me. Because this is something that is one of the most important things to me. Only thing that really comes above this is my faith. It is really high up there. It's something I really believe in, that it not only changes you, but it helps spark this change in our communities, as well as our economies and our nations, and it just keeps on going. Because we have now these huge companies that are offering vegan stuff now. Ben & Jerry's just came out with their flavors for their vegan ice cream. Target is coming out with meatless meats, and so on and so forth. There are a lot of companies that are jumping on the vegan train. Wendy's, another example. They are testing out black bean burgers right now in 3 of their locations, and hopefully it'll be coming across the nation soon. But it's really encouraging to see all of this change go on, as well as be able to interact with all these amazing vegan people. So that's where I am right now. Right now I'm just enjoying life. I am, interacting with fellow vegans, being part of this amazing community, both on the internet and in person. And I'm just very grateful that I'm at the point I am right now. And if any of you all are interested in becoming vegan, I recommended some documentaries. I'll put the links down below, or at least the names of them, as well as some resources. PETA, despite their controversial methods, they have some great resources for people who are becoming vegan or who are interested in being vegan, as well as their other sites. So I'll make sure to put all that down below, because I think, if you're definitely interested in this, you really need to do your research. That's the only way you're going to find the whole truth about being a vegan, and just see how much good comes from it and how easily you can do it. And if you guys ever have any questions or need some support or anything, I am always here for you guys. Just leave comments down below or message me wherever. Social media is down below too. And yeah, because I want to be here for you guys. Anyone who wants to become a vegan, I think That is amazing. If you guys are considering that, you definitely should. So that is all for today. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I try to make videos on a weekly basis, trying to figure out the schedule with that. Hopefully it'll be figured out soon. Until next time, stay sharp, my friends.